All right. Hello and welcome to the Penang Roadshow to India 2021 virtual forums organized by Penang Convention and Exhibition Bureau, PCEB, powered by Tin Media. As you may all know that Penang Roadshow to India 2021, the virtual B2B event is going on virtually in 4 cities targeting all across the Indian market. And the virtual roadshow is being well received by the Indian travel trade for the effort and the proactiveness of PCEB to stay in touch with the industry players and update them about the situation in Penang as well as Malaysia. So those who would like to know more about this virtual event and if you like to participate as a trade visitor, please log into the Penang Roadshow, penangroadshow.com. So probably you can, there are 3 more cities left. Yesterday they had it in Cochin covering the southern market. So there are 3 more cities covering 3 more zones. So you still can participate as a trade visitor. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Prashant Chandra. I am the moderator for the session today. A very good evening to everyone here in Malaysia as well as in India and all across the world who are watching from. So we have more people joining in. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us in this discussion. So as you all know that India market indeed considered to be the world's one of the largest travel markets and one of the fastest growing markets. And today topic of discussion is the Indian outbound travel market post-COVID trends and updates. See, first of all, it's very important for all of us to know the first-hand information of what is happening locally in the Indian market and what are the progress of the vaccination or what are the travelers, where are the travelers going these days and how is the outbound travel movement is happening, where are they traveling these days and what are the current trends happening in Indian market. So before that, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching online, please type it down which city you are watching from so that we the panelists and all of us will know that where are you watching us from. And please don't forget to share this live feed with your among your WhatsApp group or Facebook, and so more of your friends can join in and join the discussion and ask more questions to the panelist we have here. So let us start the discussion. Right, we have a very interesting set of panelists with us. Let me put them on the screen first. Yeah, so basically I would like to introduce them one by one to you. So let me start with Jay Bhatia. So Jay has been actively associated with TAI, the Travel Agent Association of India, in various capabilities over the past 10 years, and he's currently the Vice President of TAI, the nodal largest and the premier association in India, formed in 1951. So TAI has over 3,000 organizations as members who are in the trade of travel, tourism and hospitality. So welcome, Jay, to the panel today.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you so much.
So second we have is Razaidi Abdul Rahim. I think every one of us know him who are handling Indian market. He's been in the industry for 18 years in Malaysian civil service with combined experience in various divisions and different positions in Tourism Malaysia's headquarters, Pearl Estate. He was in Langkawi, Lada, and Tourism Malaysia's London office. Now he's in Chennai, Tourism Malaysia Chennai, covering South India and Sri Lanka. Welcome to the show, Razaidi.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you.
The third guest we have is Harmandeep Singh. He has been in the travel industry since 1995. Served as a honorary Secretary General at TAI, educating, empowering the travel fraternity in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities through the largest network interaction of travel trade events, Global Panorama Showcase. Welcome, Harmandeep Singh, to the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prashant, for having me with the panelists.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we are actually, let's get the discussion going. Let me start with Jay. Jay, tell us a bit about what is the current situation in the market when it comes to outbound. What is the update, Jay? Yeah.
Well, firstly, thanks to Team Media for organizing this and just getting on to the point. All of us know we've faced challenging times. We are seeing ray of hope ahead. And as you know from India, currently the market that is opened is for UAE and Maldives. A lot of other countries in the Africas also. But I think the 80% of the market that we are seeing that is being going to the Middle East as well as the Maldives. Going ahead, I think from 21st of January, we have other neighboring countries like Sri Lanka also that is opening up. And what we are seeing is more than the international travel right now, the tourists and the travelers, be it corporate or tourists, are looking at moving within India itself to safeguard their personal safety as well as health hygienes. Uh, Things are challenging, and as we go ahead, what we are expecting is proper protocols, standard operating procedures, that is, and rules, conditions, healthcare facilities, and safety measures that each country will be taking to welcome Indian tourists. And as we move into the new decade this year, things are going to be completely different. And what we expect out of the outbound market from India is that the capacity holding of that particular country for tourists has to be huge because Indians are going to travel overseas somewhat more because right now the exploration is happening in the domestic market. So the saturation has come, and what we are going to see in terms of revenge tourism is going to happen, especially to the neighboring countries and beyond. And Malaysia, as we are looking at, is one of the niche destinations that Indians travel to. And we have to have certain procedures and laws in terms of your visa, your hotels, your safety, everything to be put in good standard. Once that is laid down, I think Indian travelers are not going to step back from visiting the country definitely.
Right, rightly said, Jay. Thank you so much for that sharing. Yes, absolutely. I think we all waiting for that moment, to get this travel restarted. So let me move on to Razadi. So Razadi, please, what is the update for us from Tourism Malaysia in terms of strategizing the revival of travel? Yeah, Razadi, can you hear me? Is there's are you able to? I think he has got disconnected. Okay. Meantime, I'll continue with Harmandeep Singh. So give us an update on the events industry situation in India, Harmandeep.
Thanks, Prashant. As my friend Jay just mentioned, that the two international borders countries which have been accepting the Indian tourists is UAE, particularly Dubai is the destination which has been accepting the Indian tourists, as also Maldives. So both these have seen a drastic flow of Indian tourists.
Can you hear
overseas.
me, Prashant?
But since August itself, with the states within India, there are like 28 states and 8 union territories. With those states, there's been a lot of travel which has been happening. But within the states, there have been SOPs in place, restrictions being there. So within a state, say for example, someone coming in from Goa, Rajasthan, Delhi, Gujarat into Maharashtra needs an RT-PCR negative report to do away with the quarantine. Otherwise, the quarantine restrictions are there within India as well. So the SOPs have been followed very rigidly within India. If you look at the numbers, the total number of cases in India had gone up to almost 1.2 crores. Today, if you look at the percentage, we have just about 2 lakh active cases with a population of 1.38 billion, which is waiting to travel. The sooner the vaccination cycle starts. So the first round has already been initiated. In the last 4 days, we have had almost more than 400,000 people who have been vaccinated, particularly the front liners, the doctors, the frontliners who have been tackling this menace since March. So the numbers, people are looking at traveling out, but they would look at how the destination, whichever opens up, puts the SOPs in place, what restrictions they put in place. Is there a quarantine which is required when they travel? Then those will be the negatives. People will shy away from visiting destinations where there'll be a lot of restrictions. If you look at Maldives and Dubai, they have put the least of restrictions in place for the Indian travelers. We do require traveling to Maldives or Dubai, we do require an RT-PCR. People are carrying their RT-PCR. Maybe in the days to come, once you have the inoculation, then the vaccination in place, you may have a certificate or a passport similar to one we have for yellow fever, that you have been vaccinated and you will be able to travel freely. And I believe recently TAI as an association has put a letter forth to the ministry and various other organizations to take this into cognizance. And this is a very important step moving forward to put it into perspective so that people can start traveling freely, unless that psychological barrier is not removed, that yes, you'll be able to travel as you were in the early 20s in the month of Jan, Feb, March. People will still shy away. Not everyone would be. A lot of people have lost jobs in the industry. There'll be a growth. I expect that the industry would regain some thrust moving in the second quarter. By third, fourth quarter, Indian movement, depending on how the bubble arrangements with different countries get into place, how the other destinations, if you look at Europe today, there are like the cases have gone up almost 50 times more than the first wave. So if such situations are not controlled, then there would be restrictions. India may put in restrictions for travelers coming in from these destinations. So this can happen vice versa. I think the better SOPs the destinations put, and for sure, India would probably be one of the largest market, as big as China, in terms of tourist outbound starting 2022. There would be a huge boom, and what we have lost in 2020 or 2021, we may not lose as much as what we have lost in 2020. But I think it would be it's looking towards a positivity, a positive sign coming in. And even at GPS, we had to do away with the mice business. The mice business currently cannot happen. There are restrictions. You cannot have gatherings of more than 50 in most states in India. So if you can't have a gathering, how can you have a mice event? Corporates are shying away from asking their people to travel because of safety reasons. And virtual is definitely the way forward, but a hybrid model is something that will come forth in the coming days. That's what at GPS we are also will be launching a 1 year long event, so that people can stay connected for a longer period. Even if the business does not start, you will be in a position to connect and keep on updating the market, keep on updating the industry on regular basis. What are the SOPs? What are the changes? What are the new positives which a destination or a product or a service has brought into play? I think 2021 definitely will be a positive sign for the whole community globally for the travel industry.
Well, thank you so much for the optimism, Harmandeep. I think, as you rightly said, getting connected and being connected is what is more important. And I think at this point of time, what Penang is doing also the same thing. Getting connected to the industry, the people whom they have, they supported earlier, the people who sold, started promoting Penang, before this pandemic happens. And I think the same people, the same clients, the same travel agents, they still, have sentiments towards the destination they used to promote, and it's the right time for us to stay connected and talk about what is happening in both sides. Right. So Mr. Razadi, so I like to ask you, what are the updates from the Tourism Malaysia about that, Razadi?
Yeah, first of all, I think I would like to thank Mr. Prasant from Tin Media for inviting Tourism Malaysia Chennai to be part of this program. And of course, obviously, congratulations to PSEP of having this wonderful new norm virtual forum in conjunction with Penang Roadshow India 2021. And I believe I really concur what Mr. Harminder mentioned, that we have to really constant advise the community, especially the agents and the tourists, that Malaysia are still there, still relevant, and still top of the mind of Indian tourists to Malaysia. I think talking about revival, I have to talk about two things. First of all, the free border opening, and of course the second one when the border this moment we have to accept that the virtual event is really important, that like what PSEP is having now, and like Tourism Malaysia Chennai have been doing a lot of virtual program informing our trade partners all the SOPs, all the video of safety and our readiness when our border opening, so we are there, and make sure our Indian tourists are going to be safe when they are traveling there. And of course, this is to boost the confidence of our potential travelers. And apart from that, we also engage with all our partners, especially the travel agents, so that we can have a tactical campaign. Especially now we are having a program with one of our agents to have our campaign in social media, especially to get our message across in our social media. And also when we are having our border open, hopefully by second quarter, or whenever the government approve that the border will be open, we of course are going to have all our agents to have media, to have a fam trip, and also for the key opinion leader to have their own personal experience of traveling to Malaysia without any hassle, without any fear, having all the SOPs by the government later.
All right, thank you for that update, Rosadi. I think it's the right thing. What we are doing is to talking to one another, and to explaining what is the viewpoint of each of us at this point of time from the industry perspective. We have a very good mix of audience here. I would like to tell all of you for just please type down your questions you want to ask the panelists. If you have anything you want to know about the Indian market or the situation, or which can be helpful in your future planning, please type it down. When we have free time, we can always ask our panelists about it. So let me move on to Jay. Jay, can you tell us about what do you think should be the right thing to do to rebound travel?
Well, since we have time right now, and as Mr. Zaidi just said, it's going to take at least another 2-3 months for the Malaysian borders to open up. And since we are talking specific to Penang and to Malaysia, I think the first thing that we require is education, networking that needs to be done for giving information on the products. So that needs to be done in a big manner. And as TAI is concerned, we've already tied up with Tourism Malaysia for educational trainings that are happening in the Western region and parts of Southern region also. That has been going on for the last 2 years. And so we want to take it forward in a much larger way, so the product information and everything can be endured more. And what better association than TAI that can come up for a networking and marketing platform for Tourism Malaysia. We have been doing it in the past as well. And we as an association also have an MOU signed with MATA, that is the Malaysian Travel Association, and which is one of the largest across in the subcontinent region and South Asia as well. So, we should start exchanging more information, more views, use our internal experience and expertise to market and network the products completely. And if we are looking at what more that we require, is first and foremost, Malaysia as such is a destination for Indians. First, primarily, if you see, for 2-3 nights, or even 7 nights, or even 15 nights. That is, we are very comfortable as and when whatever your requirements are, those Malaysia fits into that destination, specifically Penang. So if you're looking at 2 nights or 3 nights and long weekends, we consider Malaysia as a weekend destination, long weekend destination for Indians to travel. And what better what better flight schedules that we have across country, that we have flights coming into Malaysia, whether it's Indian carriers, Malaysian carriers, and any other airlines as well. So that needs to be enhanced, and the product should be in place before we commence. Going forward, we would recommend that the hotels, their safety and security also needs to be put in such a place that we have certain standard operating procedures are well laid down by the government and the tourism authority in Malaysia. So that is going to be forwarded to us, and we will build up the morale and the confidence of each and every tourist or traveler coming into Malaysia on the safety of their travel. We need to know that what are the air bubbles that they'll be creating, or what are the bubbles that will be creating for foreign tourists who are coming, or foreign travelers who are coming into Malaysia, in terms of the shopping etiquettes, or going down to activities, or doing a little bit of sightseeing, and for even that matter, even for mice. Are you going to start maintaining some protocols for mice on the number of people? For example, in India, there was initially, as we started, we had only for mice only 50 people could be adhered in a hall, and then gradually we have moved to 100 depending on state to state. So if these rules are well laid down, people can start planning, and this is a time actually where planning is taking place across the world. So if these things are said and worked on right now, it's going to be a booster, especially from India. So we need to know that. Further, we need to have incentivization in terms of visa waivers. That is a must, because right now when people are going to travel, by paying $10 or $15 is not a big amount for any of the travelers, but you should encash it as more of an investment, because the people traveling are going to spend into your economy. You are going to generate more of, and your economic drive is going to boost up majorly. So, by incentivizing and ensuring that there's a visa waiver, complete visa waiver, that is going to entice travelers to visit. And as we understand, Malaysia has stopped e-visas. So if we come back to e-visas, that is also helpful, because majority of the Indians being last minute travelers, it becomes very difficult, planners. It becomes very difficult to plan ahead and, wait for 1 week for the visas to come. In the meantime, the whole mood dies down and people start preferring to countries where there's visa on arrival or e-visas that is there. So these conditions must be taken into consideration. And as Thai, we've already in talks with Tourism Malaysia and the government, and we want to push it forward, much forward, to ensure that there's a win-win situation for everybody. Thanks.
Right. I think that those are very, very important points what you mentioned, especially the visa, and also educating about what is going to happen. And everybody says that the travel is going to change. The way we operate tours will change. But then it's very important at this point of time to tell people that what is it that is going to change, so that the operators, the people who's the reselling community is aware of what are the changes they can expect. They can educate their clients so that they can get ready to travel as soon as the borders open. Thank you so much for that sharing, Jay. I think it's fantastic. Let me ask Harmandeep, what is that you think, from in your opinion, like what is that immediate thing we should do to rebound,
I still remember 1998 was the first time that someone from our organization, my dad, traveled to Malaysia. Prior to that, obtaining a visa for Malaysia was very strict. People were not able to get visas. But thereafter, it was toned down. It was easier to get a visa for Malaysia. So the moment you open up such things, as Jay correctly mentioned, if the visa fees is waived, if the visa on arrival sort of a facility is restarted, that builds up the confidence. That is the first step towards inviting people. Like in India, we have Atithi Devo Bhava. It would be something similar for Malaysia, because a lot of agents from India. India was amongst the top 3 inbound tourist countries for Malaysia for a very long time. Then it dropped because the attention was lost. Now again, there's an opportunity because there'll be more people traveling. People used to ask me that what's the longest itinerary that could be created from Malaysia. I've had couples who had traveled on honeymoon to Malaysia and stayed and spent almost 3 weeks in Malaysia. So there's a lot to explore and do in Malaysia. It's not just Kuala Lumpur or Penang or just a bit. So you have to start educating, re-educating, because there'll be new breed of travel agents, the new type who will be coming in. There'll be SOPs. Hygiene probably would be the first thing that any tourist, cleanliness, what are the SOPs? These are the things everyone would want to know. How safe is the destination? In the past, the safety was all about, will I get robbed? But now the safety will be all about, will I get COVID? So that's what people will be looking at. How safe am I when I go to a destination? What are the precautions the destination has taken? How well have they educated their people, and how well the travel fraternity in India, who would be receptive, would be educated and are made aware? Because when I see the groups, a lot of people keep on asking, have the flights opened up for Malaysia? Is there an option? Can people travel? What are the restrictions? Most travel agents within India are not even aware what is the status of Malaysia currently for Indians, even in case of emergency, if they have to travel. What are the restrictions in place? Is there an air bubble? So, as compared to some other destinations, Malaysia has been like a total lockdown, a closure for the Indian market. So that information needs to be percolated. That this is what we are looking at. Even if you're planning for the next 6 months or 9 months, you have to start informing. You can't just open up and expect people to travel the very next day. So when you are reaching that landmark date, you should be like Sri Lanka has been publicizing that we'll be opening up. So these are the type of things you have to bring in the documentation. You have to make people aware. You have to start uh, again connecting with the travel fraternity more often than ever before. And the virtual way is the only way forward to get connected. You won't be able to visit. The suppliers in Malaysia will not be able to visit, maybe probably till the end of September or October, or maybe even not before 2022. So, what best way without spending a penny? You can still get connected, and it's a good forum. It's a good platform that Penang PSAB has created. Singapore Tourism has been conducting similar roadshow. This is just about creating awareness. Yes, we are there. We'll be there tomorrow when you need. This is where you can connect, but that connection has to be there on an ongoing basis. It can't be you just do it and then you forget it. So it has to be an ongoing thing, and it took a very long time. I still remember it took a very long time for Malaysia to build itself as a Indian friendly destination. Everything about Malaysia is more, it's like a second home for a lot of Indians. You yourself, Prashant, would connect to that. Yes, there is an opportunity, and I think when destinations open up, Malaysia, truly Asia, would again come back.
Right, rightly said, Mandeep. I think you got the right points. Yes, I think we need to have the right messaging, and it's very timely that we have all the right people who are watching or listening to this forum, who's taking note of it. So definitely, this is moving to the right direction. So can I come to Razidi? Can I ask you, like, what do you think about this particular part, like rebounding travel from tourism marketing perspective as a national tourism promotion board? So what is your take on this?
I think I have to agree with Mr. J and Harminder about this Indian friendly environment to Malaysia. We have to start rolling our SOPs, and then let everybody knows in the travel fraternity in India what we are doing, and what are they expecting when they are coming into Malaysia when the border opens. Then I really concur that we'll have to have the SOP not very long. We have to let the industry know that we are going to open anytime soon, or whenever the government will allow the border to open. We have to have the SOPs and get it related to the our industry in India. And of course, talking about the visa, of course, we wanted to have all this visa requirement at ease to everybody of our potential tourists to Malaysia. And of course, being a national tourism organization for Malaysia, we wanted to have all the seamless kind of arrangement to all our potential tourists to Malaysia. And of course, in terms of revival, we have to get the information related to each and every staff in the tour operators and tour travel agents, that so that they know, and so that they can convince their customer that look, Malaysia is just like a domestic flight for every one of you. And of course, in terms of marketing, we wanted to have more and more out of our travel agents to have more and our partners in Malaysia to have more enticing kind of things, perhaps vouchers or something, to really entice people in India to travel when our border opens. Then I really have to say that to me personally, the SOP is really vital, to have the confidence of our tourists to come to Malaysia again. And like Mr. Hamida said that when our border open, Malaysia, truly Asia, will be again rebound. And to me, being India being a source market to Malaysia, being the among the top five in the arrival to Malaysia is very good, and based on the feedback that I have got from the market, that people in India are just waiting for the border to open, and they will support and come to Malaysia again. And of course, with the cooperation with our partners like Thai, Tafi, and all the other partners in India, will definitely will stand on our feet again. Once the border open, of course, we have to address the visa issues and then the SOP things, and definitely, most definitely, we will get the SOP anytime soon, and we'll get it shared with everyone in the market, so that our industry will be rebounds again.
Right, thank you, Rosadi. I think it's as you rightly mentioned. I think it's it's a right time for us to come out with the SOP and to inform the market, so that the travelers are well informed, and even everything plans in advance. So probably this is a time in January people plan for holiday in May or June. You never know. I mean, this is how the pattern works. So thank you so much for sharing. So Jay, I want to ask you, Jay, like this is like the time where travel agents are completely shattered, and they some of them want to quit, some of them thinking of what to do and all that thing. So what is your advice on on those kind of situation? Like what do you want to tell the operators? What they should do now? What should they do at this point of time? Like what do they expect?
Prashant, thanks. But I think, firstly, I'll say, I would request all travel and tourism stakeholders to become members of TIE. Because TIE members are, yes, they are affected, but at the same time, we have tried to educate them. We have explained to them how to create products, use technology as a marketing tool, to understand the rules and regulations, to be a consulting guide to your travelers, whoever is traveling. And, we need to work right now. Every travel agent or a tour operator needs to rework their costs, use technology to the maximum to market and communicate. These are the key features right now. So, how that is going to go ahead is very important. And we have to ensure that, the tourism board uses the travel associations to disseminate the correct information and procedures to their membership. And TIE, being the largest association with 20 regions and chapters across the country, is going to make an impact on every traveler, because we are the face, we are the people who are your face to the travelers who are going to visit Malaysia. So this is one of the key aspects. And where if we are looking at people, if they do not know what's there for the future, well, none of us know for the future. I will bet anybody who will come and say, I know what the future tomorrow holds. We never expected the pandemic to happen. So what is there in the future? But we must stay ready, because we know things are opening up. We are seeing some light. We are seeing some ray of hope. So we should have ourselves geared up completely. Well, as TIE, if you see, we are doing multiple training programs, webinars, and everything. And as things are opening up, we are trying to tie up with tourism boards, not only within India, state tourism boards, but with overseas tourism boards also, to consult us, to get in touch with us, because we know what the ground level reality is. What is in the mind of the traveler? What is in the mind of the airlines? What is in the mind of the tourism board? We are the catalyst, and we are the connect between all the tourism stakeholders across all channels. So, we have to be there as a participating authority or a body to take this forward in a big way. And there is no other option but to have the Travel Agent Association of India to be a part of all decision making and working on whether it's a visa or the hotels or sightseeing locations or activities, in every part and every step that the tourism development is required, not only for inbound, but even for outbound, even for domestic travel. It is a key essential catalyst that is required to be a part of this. Thanks.
All right, rightly said, Jay. Thank you so much for that. As I think, yes, definitely with this current situation, the association will definitely make a lot of difference, because that's where you bring everyone together in under one platform. So, Hamandeep, I would like to ask you, like, as we all are very concerned about what is happening around, and so what do you think, like, what is the most concerning part for you at this point of time, like, from an
Initially,
industry
when the
perspective?
lock, yeah, initially when the lockdown came into place, companies had put everything on hold, whether be it corporates or individual traveler, everything was a shutdown. So, as a travel fraternity, the first industry that got impacted globally was the travel industry, the aviation industry, the hotel industry, the travel agents on the whole. So this is the first one which was impacted. This would be the last one which will come out of the complete scenario. A lot of people have lost jobs. More than 4 crore, that is about 40 million people in India within the travel fraternity are expected to have lost job, or are still on a furlough, or sitting and working from home at a highly reduced pay scale. An organization can pull you for a bit depending on how long the organization has been, how well it has adapted to technology. So what COVID has taught the industry is adaptation of technology is a must. It's not an option. That is what industries, the companies, the organizations will have to adopt. It gave a long leash, like almost 8 months of time, to educate and empower your employees, your teammates, your team members. So there was an opportunity, and it was an educational opportunity. When you are studying, you don't earn. You are basically so this is the phase of the industry. This is where the phase of the industry was. Gradually, industry has started reworking. People also realize they can't be dependent on one business or one opportunity, so they have to look for. But an employee cannot have the same benefits. But people realize that work from home could be a better. So you have to start cutting your costs. The biggest cost in any organization is the salaries for your team members or your employees, whatever. So if you cut down on the costs, work from home, the travel expenses, other expenses are also cut down. So make an environment which is cloud-based environment, and that is very much possible, 100% possible for a travel fraternity industry to work on. I'll give you an example of our own company. 12th of March 2020 is when I told all my people, 11th of March and 12th of March, we shut down the complete office. Everyone had a laptop, everyone had a mobile in place. So we were in a position to work from 12th of March as work from home. We supported all. Yes, we reduced the salaries. Everyone understood the consequences. They understood that there's not a lot of income or revenue. So they understood. So everyone, including the top or the lowest, they cut down on their expenses. So rationalizing the expenses was very important to retain. So a lot of companies adopted that and they were able to retain. So there has been a retention within the industry. Gradually, as the business is coming back, they are increasing that payout. They are asking people to come to the office as and where required. So moving out of the business is not an option, because I have spent 25 years. You can't ask me to join and restart. It will be like starting from zero. So yes, I'll have an alternate revenue source, so that if something similar was to happen 10 years down the line, I know there is an alternate revenue source and income which is there for me, for the industry, for the team, for the staff. So people have to start collaborating, start understanding what are the other revenue options which are available, which is very much possible. And the best thing is they have to adapt to technology. If they don't, they will perish. So you have to adopt technology, the way forward. Everything has to be accessible. You name it and it is there. Nothing you can say is not accessible, even to a client. The traveler will need a travel consultant or a professional more than ever before now. They have burned their hands, they have understood what the pain points were. So the travel community will come out stronger as professionals and consultants rather than only travel agents. So that word agent post in the new normal will get removed and get replaced with a consultant. So you can you will be doing more work in days to come, but your bottom line will also gradually increase, because when you have a client, maybe you were selling a ticket in the past. Ticket is something they can get, but all the arrangements, what are the SOPs at a destination, bringing that correct information, even a website cannot do that, but a travel agent can do that homework, search that information for a traveler and give them the right information. That's where I think the industry, the new normal, is moving towards. And holding on to what you have, yes, people have lost their jobs, but again, as the industry revives, people will come back to the foray. 2022 would be a great year. 2021 will be a build-up year. It's the year of the revival, you will say. So that's
All
that's my
right.
take on the same.
All right, thank you so much. I think rightly said, technology is everything. If you don't adopt technology, you are no more in the marketplace already. So it's I think people are really getting to learn the importance of adopting technologies, and you can see a lot of training, and a lot of them are already taking steps towards digitalizing their operations. And as I rightly said, as you rightly mentioned, the collaboration. I think I think that is what the collaboration is the way forward. I think all of us need to collaborate, no matter what sector you are from, but every collaboration will bring value into the industry. So, Rizadi, I would like to ask you, right? How do you see Malaysia recovering quicker when the borders open? Like, if you can tell us. I think you are muted. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prasan. I think eventually, definitely yes. Malaysia have been tested with so many catastrophe disaster before this. We had SARS, H1N1, tsunami, and this particular pandemic, COVID, is the ultimate kind of disaster that not only Malaysia but every country in the world have actually experienced it. And based on that particular experience, I really believe that we will be recovering quicker, even quicker. And then when we have all these SOP in place, and all our cases in Malaysia going to be into the flat curve, definitely with the assistance with all our partners in India, members of TAI especially, and all other consultant like Mr. Aminan mentioned just now, consultant for Malaysia. And I definitely confident that we will rebound and get back our figure soon enough, after our border opening. It's just that a matter of time, and with that, I really believe that we can be recovering so quick.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that positivity. I think yes, we will definitely recover. So Jay, I like to ask you, what is that positive side of this pandemic? If you'd like to share with us.
Positive side is, yes, you got extra time to relax, because for the last so many years, over the decade, we feel all of us on the move, on the move. And especially in the Indian business community, the travel community in India, we don't take breaks, unless we have a holiday. We are working on a Diwali or a Holi or everything. And there is nothing like a Monday to Friday. It's Monday to Monday that everybody works. Even if it's at 12 o'clock in the night, we revert back on emails, on communication, we pick up our travelers' calls, whatever that we need to do. Yes. So right now with zero business, the only advantage was we had no phone calls ringing. But yes, to look at something that yes, we got an opportunity, a right opportunity or a wrong opportunity. I don't know. Let's not call it the right opportunity, but we got some space to rework our strategies, to lay down our organizations, whether it is the association or it is our personal businesses of travel and tourism. It gave us an opportunity to educate ourselves, to re-strategize, and to have a better connect and network, especially with the government. Not only in terms of the government of India, in terms of the tourism or the civil aviation, but all aspects of the government across the world also. We have better connects with the global tourism boards also. So because everybody wants to know what each other is doing. So data sharing and collaborating, what we were just discussing, I think that has become more powerful. It is not in terms of you're trying to imitate or copy somebody, but just try to access information. I think the world has come together after a long, long time to work towards a vaccine. Something that, probably after 2 years is going to be like a common cough and cold. So for us, that is there, and everybody got some opportunity to spend time on themselves. But very importantly, this is the time that we need to change our concept, our working strategy, not strategy, our working environment also. Like how Harmandeep said, especially in India, your workplace is not 5 minutes drive or 10 minutes drive, and especially in the metro cities. It takes an average of at least 30 to 50 minutes average in cities like Mumbai and Delhi to communicate from a residence to your work. This is an average I'm talking about. But otherwise, people have got an opportunity. I know nothing is important if I don't go to work today. I can sit at home and still do all my meetings. So that gives me a comfort zone that I am accessible. I have everything cloud based. I can work from wherever I am. I am accessible to my clients, to my stakeholder partners, and everything is possible. So that is one advantage that we've learned. And in terms of technology, we did not encash on the technology or utilize the technology to the fullest. We could have very well done this years ago. We had these platforms years ago. We had video calls happening, since a very long time. But something was required, and I mean, probably this is not a positive way to get into such kind of an activity. But yes, it helped all of us to gain more knowledge. And now, if you see even children, if you see children at the age of 4 years or 5 years know what is a Zoom or what is a StreamYard or how social media works. So that is completely accessible, and they've overgrown themselves to at least 10 years what would have taken them to grow and understand what is technology. So that is an empowerment that we have gained, and let's take that as a positive note and to see how we can work to enhance our tourism potential to the maximum.
Thank you so much for that sharing. Jay rightly said, yes, I think it's very important for us to re-strategize, as what you said. Yeah. So I would like to, if I, move on to Harmandeep Singh, and if you share with us, right, the outbound current travel patterns, and what are the things happening in India at this point of time? Where are the people traveling? And a country like Malaysia, how can we leverage that when the borders open?
One thing I would like to highlight before I move on to your question is the positive thing which has happened is for the last 6, 7, 8 months, it was a Sunday every day of the week for most of us. I've been traveling for the last 25 years, so this is the first time that I haven't traveled. Probably even Jay and Mr. Zaidi has also not traveled for almost like 8, 10 months.
Yeah.
That was a very positive thing. Health has been much better, cleaner environment. So it was a reboot for all sorts. Now, if you look at the outbound, the current outbound for any destination, because borders are not opening up, till they open up, the domestic, which was there even like 25 years, 20 years before, when the international out of India started, the domestic travel was always there. As children, we used to travel with my dad. We used to drive from Nagpur all the way up to Jammu Kashmir, which was like a 2-day, 3-day drive. But we traveled all the way. We went up to Kanyakumari by car. So that travel was happening even in the past. So what people adapted to when they wanted to get out of their homes because they have been locked up for so long, that the outbound which started happening was to the neighboring states which opened up and which started welcoming. Goa was amongst the first ones. So if you look at the Indian traveler traveling, Goa has been a destination. Rajasthan has been a destination where a lot of tourists have been traveling. So similarly, as and when the international borders open up, as we already mentioned, Jay already mentioned, that when Maldives opened up, even during its normal routine, regular, the numbers which have traveled to Maldives probably are much more than what it would have done in the last 2-3 years put together, because people don't have an option apart from that destination, or Dubai for that matter. People are moving out because they want to go out and shop again or eat, but they at the same time they want an environment which is very clean, hygienic, and safe. So outbound is not only for the Indian traffic, not only the domestic travel, but it will, in due course of time, become an international travel, depending on how quick, how the borders open up, how receptive the destination is. I would again repeat, if Malaysia as a destination was to do away with the visa fees, do away with the visa grants, if Indians can get a visa on arrival at Malaysia, you will see people, because right now, because of if you look at the 72-hour or 96-hour restriction that you have to have your RT-PCR within that period, so people will travel on short notice. Airlines are already flexible in terms of the cancellation policies. Certain destinations as a properties, Maldives as a destination, or Dubai, to attract the tourists, what they have done is they have given a 24-hour prior cancellation. If you are COVID positive, then you get a waiver or a credit to be used within the next 1 year or 2 years. So these are the type of enhancements every destination will be required. They'll have to build that confidence in the tourist later, but the travel agent first. So the travel consultant has to be taken into confidence. Yes, if you bring in your traveler, if you are issuing a ticket, if you are blocking a hotel, don't worry about the cancellation terms. Don't worry about that. If there's a genuine case, if there's a cancellation, you will be able to take it as a credit or use it in future. Because unless that thing is brought into play, it becomes difficult to sell a destination. This is what the on the whole, the Malaysian organizations, the tour operators, the hoteliers, and Malaysian tourism needs to. Plus, there has to be an incentive. You have to incentivize the travel consultants, as was done in the past. Malaysia Tourism has always incentivized the travel fraternity, be it for the larger groups, but now it would be a time to induce that for the smaller groups, for families, because people, rather than larger groups, you will see the smaller family groups, maybe 10, 12 people traveling together, everything they will need on a private basis, as was there in the past as well. So I think there's a huge opportunity which will prop up for the Malaysian inbound operators as a destination as we move forward, as and when Malaysia announces the opening of the destination. Penang probably can see. I saw your video, the first video that you played. That is an excellent way to promote the destination. So these are the things which need to be highlighted about the country on the whole, on a day-to-day and a regular basis. You'll have to start the moment you decide that you are opening up. You'll have to plan. It's like when a movie was shot at a destination, Malaysia picked up with the Indian tourists. So some sort of arrangement has to be there to propel that business flow from India, that confidence from the traveler as well, the travel consultant to the destination.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing, Harmandeep. I think rightly mentioned, and I think we have the right mix of audience who are listening to this. Definitely, there are things to be taken care, and certain when it comes to promoting, I think getting travelers into confidence is the number one thing to do. Yeah. So all right, so let me get Razaidi, if you can share what is that positive sides of this pandemic according to you.
I think the positive side about this pandemic, of course, like Harminder and Mr. J said, that it's kind of 6 or 7 months of kind of home working from me, for me. I think I've been here for nearly 1 year. I have actually only in the office for 3 months only. So it's kind of positive to me in that sense. I think, but the ultimate positive side of this pandemic is that I can see here that being here in India and with all this pandemic issue in place, but the positive side that really surprised me is that whatever it is, Malaysia, according to the feedback that I've got from the general tourist fraternity, Malaysia is always among the top in mind destination, no matter what. So that is the positive side that I've been very interested to share with everyone. That, like I said before, I really confident that with this kind of support from the general public towards Malaysia, this probably the ultimate positive positive impact out of this pandemic.
All right, thank you so much for that. Definitely, I think Malaysia is on the top of the mind of every Indian traveler who look to travel outside from a short haul kind of destination. Definitely, that we hope that it remains the same even after the pandemic. So let me. Okay, we are running short of time. I think yes, we are going towards the end of our session. So can I just get Jay to share like what is the biggest learning you have from this pandemic? Like I'm sure like all of us who would have our own learnings. So if you could share yours, and then probably we get something out of that.
Like I said, the biggest learning has been to rework, re-strategize, and also try and spend time for yourself and the family. And because, like what Mr. Harmandeep said, that we've been traveling and traveling, as travel agents, consultants, as well as with the association, we have to go and explore new destinations, domestic or international. We go and work out and get strategies with the tourism boards also. So this has given us a break of actually, and not traveling for the last 10 months, we have been grounded in terms of traveling as a person. But otherwise, the information that we have gathered is much more. But there is a difference between virtual and reality. So we are turning towards reality, and well, things are changing, and we would like to expect some kind of positive action in terms of from Tourism Malaysia, from Penang also. I mean, I remember the last roadshow that I attended personally before the lockdown was the Penang Convention Bureau that came to India. And I think that was in the first week of March that we had it that time. And that was the last roadshows that we had. And if that was the last roadshow, and I mean, today's conversation on Penang, I don't see that we're going to have to wait more than a week that, things open up completely. So with the vaccine also coming out during this week, especially in India, and only suggestions to Tourism Malaysia from our end would be, try to incentivize the travel partners, specifically with Thai. And we have been grateful to Tourism Malaysia. In fact, last week only they felicitated Thai in Chennai by asking, I mean, by especially sharing that we have extended good support to Tourism Malaysia. Our members have been of great support. And like he said, like Indian travelers to Malaysia has always been on the top. I'm sure that is due to our members and due to the support we receive from Tourism Malaysia and the ministry as well. So, I mean, we are there to support you completely, and whatever is required, please do keep us in your connects and all networking that you require. We are there to support you because we know what the traveler requires, we know what the stakeholders require, and we are definitely there to support you on a long terms ahead.
Thank you so much for that, Jay. I think yes, the support is always reciprocal, right? So it is, we look forward. It should work both ways. So Harmandeep, what is your learning? If you can share with us, with the viewers, yeah.
The learning has been that you need to spend time with your family and friends, and this gave an opportunity that under lockdown you were able to do that, which otherwise we were not. Traveling 8 months in a year doesn't let you spend that much time. So there was a close bonding within the family, and you spend a lot of time. So that was the best learning. Plus, at the same time, you connected well with your team members because there was not no much work to do, but at the same time, educating. So education is an ongoing process. That one has to realize that even if you are in a business on a day-to-day basis, you are empowering yourself, you're learning more, you are educating yourself more. So sitting in front of a system every day, you can not only the OTT programs that you're watching, it gives you a lot of in-depth knowledge. It increases your knowledge, and I think this is what has happened during this last 8 months, and this would be the new normal. Things will move forward in a similar fashion. You don't have to be in an office from 10 to 7, 10 to 8. You can spend that much time from where you are. So these are the type of things which every individual would have come across. Yes, a lot of people got depressed depending on the family sizes. If you were single in a home, then there was not much to do except for watching OTTs. But with large families, that's good for Jay and me that we come from a joint family, so we have more people to spend time with, which we missed out on in the past because we were so involved, engaged with the work that we were doing that we missed out on those opportunities. So we
All right.
actually could see, Jay could see his daughter grow, I could see my grown-up children grow. So spend more time with them.
Fantastic. That's so nice. So Razadi, what is your learning?
No, I think Prasant, we have to agree that things happen for a reason, and it's not merely a waste, So I think to me, the precious thing that I have learned from this pandemic is that you can't take love, health, and time for granted. Whenever you get time, you have to travel. Not to wait until so long that not anything happens. Like we discussed earlier, that pandemic, we never thought that this is going to be happening. So when you have time, travel to Malaysia. So that kind of thing. And then obviously that before this, I've personally I've never thought of getting all this virtual forum as a panelist. Getting into a virtual roadshow like Penang does now. This is kind of a new learning process to me as well. Even though I'm kind of a old school, but now learning into all these virtual things, meeting people on only in a small screen like this is kind of a new things, new learning for me. So obviously, things happening with pandemic have actually make me learn something out of it.
All right, I think we all share the same thoughts. I think it's been a fantastic session. So I would like to go across to have your final closing thoughts. I think we are going towards the end of the show. So Jay, what is your final closing remarks, Jay?
Well, before I give my closing statements, I would like to place on record that our president, Mrs. Jyoti Mayal, is also online, and I see her commenting also in our chats. And I'm sure she came up not because of anything else, but because three of our favorite people. Because we have Mr. Razaidi for Tourism Malaysia, also who's known to her, and Harmandeep and myself as well. So I think she's taken out time to have us online and just to check what we all three of us are doing, and then she can give us our final inputs as well. So thank you, ma'am, for being online. And yes, going forward, overall, we look at things positively. And like we discussed, we need to have education, technology, communication as a barrier, not as a barrier, sorry, to take things forward. And if these things are there, our strategies have to be in place. We've got the right time and opportunity right now to rework. So once everything is in place, I don't think that anything can stop us. And especially India coming out as the next leader across the world in all aspects, we are going to see inbound, outbound, double and increase space completely and take over the entire world space. Thank you so much. Thanks, Prashant, and for having us over. Sincerely appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Jay, for the sharing. I think we definitely hope and believe that there'll be more closer ties between Thai members and the tourism fraternity over here, and definitely we look forward to work together and have a better tourism in both ways. Thank you so much, Jay. Thanks for joining. All right, so Harmandeep, please share your closing thoughts and so.
Like Mr. Razaidi just mentioned that travel is a must. People will start traveling. So it's like a book. So if you have just read the first page, you have not seen anything. So you have to read the complete book. You have to start traveling. So the moment, because something like this can happen ever again, but the moment world opens up, you have to start traveling. You have to start exploring. I was just seeing one person who has traveled the globe without taking a single flight. So that gives you new ideas that can I do something similar or can I do something on a smaller scale? So people should start exploring the world, the neighborhood, the areas, the destinations within the vicinity. So people in India are currently exploring within their driving distance of 5 hours. Maybe in due course of time, it will be a 5 hours flight, which would definitely be Malaysia. And then the longer haul destinations will come into play. Thank you so much for having me for this lovely session this afternoon in India and evening in Malaysia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure connecting with all of you.
Thank you so much, Harmandeep. I think it's been a pleasure having you and having your thoughts. I think a lot of important points which we take away from this discussion. So we'll definitely look forward to have you back here with your, you've been doing very active events and groups, a lot of movements towards Malaysia, Penang. So we look forward to connect with you again, Harmandeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, Razadi, so please, what is your closing remarks on this? Yeah.
To end up, to summarize our session today is that Malaysia really misses our Indian tourists. So definitely, as a person in the tourism organization, we really wanted to have a seamless kind of arrangement for every and all Indian tourists to Malaysia. Now talking about the visas, talking about the packages, we wanted to give more and more to our Indian tourists. Now the trend is changing now. People wanted to travel in a short range, probably less than 4 hours, which is Malaysia. And Malaysia has everything to offer to Indian tourists, and definitely as a source market for the arrival to Malaysia, I really welcome our Indian tourists to Malaysia once the border opens. We will make sure your safety is there. Your moment of truth is seamless to Malaysia, and of course the solidarity working with the agents, the tour operators, the organization in India is a priority for me. So really wanted to have all the support, and welcome to Malaysia again once the border opens. Thank you, Prasan, for having me.
Thank you, Zaidi. Thank you. I think it means a lot. Someone like you gives assurance, and that connectivity with the industry. I think we definitely have a very long way to go with this market. So thank you so much, Zaidi, for taking time to join us. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe today's session was informative to all of you. Please keep keep your questions or whatsoever coming in. Even if after the show we still can interact on the same page. So ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow the Penang Roadshow virtual B2B will be live at Chennai, covering the south and central market, the zone of India. And looking forward to see you again on our next forum, which is day after tomorrow on the 21st. We will be finding answer to a very crucial question that I'm sure all of us, especially travel operators from the industry, is having in their mind, that how relevant is travel agent in a post-COVID market. So join us on a forum on day after tomorrow. So more details you can always find it on the penangroadshow.com, which is the website of this event. So till then, thank you so much, guys, and see you again later. Thank you.